All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Atlanta, Southeast, East Coast, wherever you are. Thank you for being here. Today, we have an amazing conversation, and I am really excited about diving into this conversation in the work of two amazing individuals, Rachael and Sarah, who have been working on a book and on a mission to bring the power of laughter in the universe. And boy, do we need that in the world. So thank you for doing this work. Thank you for creating a book. Thank you for coming together and share the power of laughter. I am thrilled. I am happy to have you guys here. How are you?
Great.
Just great this morning.
Really wonderful to be here. Thanks.
Thank you, Rachael. Thank you, Sarah, for being here. This is and you guys are both sisters. And I'm wondering, how did this project came about? How we're going to take on, well, first let me set the context. We're going to take on a conversation or a question. How does your ability to laugh impacts your capacity to influence others? And I think that a lot of us who listen to the Daily Huddle or people in the world, we really want to influence others. We really want to be successful. We really want to influence our children. We really want to win our games. And in order to win our games, we got to work with others. But most of us, or most people, are never looking at laughter. We look at confidence. We look at consistency. We look at discipline and all of these things. But laughter, so I really love what we're creating today. And I'd love to know, or maybe you guys can share a little bit about the history of how this project came about.
Once upon a time, I was living in a hospital room in North Carolina. My two daughters and my husband were living in another state in Georgia. And my daughter had an immune deficiency. And my husband came to visit. He was sitting in a rocking chair. Rachael had actually helped me to create a wonderful environment for us in the hospital. And there was a great big poster that said, "I love you very much," in big, beautiful colors. And my husband was sitting in the rocking chair holding my daughter. And he pointed to the poster and he said, "I love you very much." And when he got to you, he kind of squeezed her and tickled her and she started to laugh. And he started to laugh, and before you know it, I was laughing, but it was a different kind of laughter. It took us out of the hospital room into the garden. We were just transported somewhere else. The machines disappeared. We were with the whole family. It just was amazing. And in that moment, I recognized laughter for something else. Now, we had already been positive and thinking good things, but that laughter just told me something. Fast forward a bunch of years, my older daughter's friend, Molly, said, "Come laugh with me. I just became a laughter yoga leader." I never heard of laughter yoga. I didn't know what that was, but Molly asked, so I went. Next thing I know, we're laughing with a bunch of strangers. We're supposed to laugh on purpose. What? Before you know it, a few little giggles came out, and it wasn't long until the laughter was really contagious. 45 minutes later, I walked out into the parking lot and I said, "Oh my gosh, this is the laughter that I was missing. This is the laughter that I knew back then and that I had never experienced before." And I knew in that moment that I was going to have to do this and teach this to as many people as I could. So that's how the project started. Rachael, do you want to take it from there?
Well, Gio wants to respond.
Oh. Go ahead, Rachael. I have so many things. This is so beautiful. This is so incredible. Go ahead, Rachael, before I interrupt with my.
That's okay. So Sarah became this laughter yoga leader, and I like to support whatever she's doing because sometimes it's easier for me to support someone else than to generate my own thing. I was working on something else altogether. So Sarah was doing this laughter stuff, and one day I was going through some stressful times, and she would call me on the phone and say, "Come on, let's laugh." And sometimes I would do it and roll my eyes, but I was, willing because, I felt better afterwards. And finally, she created a weekly laughter call. She really did it for me, but it became her laughter club, and it's a free call that she does every Monday for what, the last 10 years, maybe longer.
Yes.
And so I showed up at that call over and over. Then she trained me as a laughter yoga leader. She trains laughter yoga leaders. She trained me. And she was doing a laughter expo for seniors. And she wanted something, I guess you could talk about this part. She does a lot of, go ahead, say that.
After the session, people wanted to know more. They wanted to take it with them. And so I created a keychain of 18 pages of 5x5 laminated sheets so they could know a little bit about the history of laughter yoga, how to do it, a few exercises. And of course, I ended with my Monday call at the end. And as I was making that, Rachel said, oh, let me make it better. Let me make it better. Let me make it better. And then I decided, people wanted more information and I was learning more the more I did. So we wanted to make a book. And before long, Rachel was helping me. And before long, it became a co-project. And before long, we became co-authors. And for the last 10 years, we've been working on this project. So that's the backstory.
That's a beautiful story. And wow. So a long time ago, you were living at the hospital. And your husband was having an interaction with your daughter, and then he grabbed her and he tickled her a little bit, and he laughed, she laughed, you laughed, and then you had this sparkle, this moment, emotionally at least, of wow, that was a positive impact inside of where we are right now and what we're living. Wow, many years later, somebody introduces you to the craziest thing to hear, but it's not crazy at all. It's
exactly.
Like, how could that be crazy to hear? But we are so consumed. I'm so consumed in trying to make it, trying to be a better father, a better business person, whatever it is, that if somebody comes to me and says, hey, do you want to hang out at this laughter call? Laughter call? I got to go be serious somewhere, right? And then you're like, super cool. You're like, okay, yeah, I'll go to this yoga leader, laughter yoga leader, which I am completely enrolled. What does that even mean? Anyway, so you go do this and you see the impact and then you laugh and then you remember, oh, this is what we felt.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
and
right.
And then Rachael comes in and Rachael is supportive, and you come to Rachael and says, hey, come laugh with me because we know we're going through things. And Rachael says what I would say, I don't have time to laugh. I need to worry and be significant and serious. Yep. This is what life is about.
Exactly.
And you're like, no, let's worry significant and serious with the laughter here and there. And then Rachael gets impacted.
Yes.
Let me tell you the biggest impact for me.
Tell me.
We went to we got together as a family. Everybody came from out of town, and Sarah led everybody in a laughter yoga session, except for my husband who sat on the couch watching. And at one point in this session, laughter is very contagious. I've got a picture of Sarah rolling on the floor laughing, and it was hysterical. But a couple of weeks later, I'm at home in the kitchen and my daughter's there and my husband's there, and things are getting a little stressful because I'm trying to produce a dinner.
Wait, before you say that, I think it's important to know that your daughter, Rena, was a little resistant at the family reunion. She kind of afterwards, when I asked them for feedback, she was like, not so much. Now go ahead.
Okay, so Rena's in the kitchen. And things are getting really tense. And all of a sudden, Rena goes, very good, yay, which is one of the transitions that we do in the laughter yoga session. And of course, it's like if you're sitting in the restaurant and somebody says the wrong thing and you don't want to go down that tunnel and somebody goes, how about them dogs? It's an instant shift, right? So that was like, okay. And everybody started laughing. And it just dissolved the tension. So I'm like paying a little of attention. And then a couple of weeks later, it might have been more than a couple of weeks later, it might have been a year later, I don't know. Sometime later, I'm heading to a breast biopsy. And I'm kind of scared about it because the family history for breast cancer and death is bad. And so I'm nervous and I'm late and I'm scared. And I hear this little voice in my head. It's Sarah saying, I promise you, you just feel better. Just do smile ups. You're gonna feel better. Don't worry about it. Now, smile ups is smile, relax, smile, relax. Sarah created this exercise and it's brilliant. And so I'm driving to this thing lost and I'm start going, I'm just, through my gritted teeth, I'm doing these smile ups. And then all of a sudden I start to hear myself giggle a little and I'm like, whoa. And she says, you don't have to believe me. Just do it. You don't have to believe in it. So I circled the parking lot 4 times. And then I say, okay, this isn't working. I start trying to do those, positive affirmations. Everything's going to be fine. And this is going to be okay. And it doesn't work. So I go back to smile ups. And then I stun myself. I'm lying on the table waiting for the procedure. And the lady walks in and I say, have you done your smile ups today? I'm like, where did that voice come from? And pretty soon I'm teaching her and the tech how to do smile ups and talking about laughter and talking about clapping. And then I share it with the next person and the next person. And it's like this whole stressful, intense, significant moment that really was significant for me was just transformed into this shared laughter experience. And it was beyond amazing. And it's what had me say, okay, wait a minute, this is really something I need to look into more.
Yeah.
And what I have found in this, I like research a little bit more than Sarah. And so I delved into the research of this book. We went from 148 footnotes to about 32 because I didn't want to claim anything without giving credit to where I heard it, but some common things you can say. So anyway, knowledge is power. And if you knew the benefits of laughter, they're like a mile long. Who wouldn't want to learn how to do that? And we're talking about not go to the comedy club or learn to be a stand-up comic. We're talking about learning how to just generate laughter right now when you exhale. Okay.
Yes, not just for myself, but for my children, right? I've never thought that to be conscious that way. Like, am I teaching my children to laugh?
And teaching them
because it's critical. It's really what I'm hearing. What you're saying, Rachael, is I'm going to find myself in very real, important, significant moments, whether it's through health, whether it's emotional, whether it's through a business journey. And I've had those moments, and I think everyone has had those moments when you reach kind of a threshold of, I don't know where to go from here. And then there is let me do my smile ups. Let me do my practices of laughter so that I can create a new paradigm for myself.
Yes.
Now, I'm curious, and I don't want to direct the conversation too much because you guys are amazing, but I'm curious, Rachael, in the context of the research that you did on the benefits, physiological, biological, neurological benefits of laughter, what did you find? What do you remember that you found in this research?
Tons of things, but let me tell you another significant. There are like 3 big influencers for me to choose to really delve into this. One was the Rena situation in the kitchen. One was the breast biopsy. The other is the book Deep Survival by Lawrence Gonzalez. My family, my husband is an extreme sport athlete, and all my kids are. I don't know how I made it into this family, but they're all really self-disciplined and they take a lot of risks and adventures. I'm a little bit not so risk-taking. But so one of my sons brings over the book Deep Survival and it sits on the table and it's about what's the common denominator between people who survive catastrophic things. Like 2 guys go up a mountain, like an ice mountain, and they're climbing and one breaks his leg, one falls to his death, the other has a broken leg, and now he's by himself, he's got to survive this. How does he manage to survive? And he manages to survive because he's got 2 skill sets that he would have never known were skill sets. He has the ability to laugh at a situation and he can adopt a playful, childlike mindset. Well, that was not me. A playful mindset did not seem like something I was willing to give myself permission to indulge in. That was for children. I'm a grown-up now. Life is serious and significant. Playing, not a thing. So then I read, I'm interested in this play thing from Gonzalez. And I read this book called Play, I forget the subtitle, by Stuart Brown. He became a psychiatrist. And one of his first assignments was to go interview people in a Texas prison that were on death row for homicide. And he's researching them and interviewing them. And what does he find? The one common denominator amongst all of them, lack of rough and tumble play as children. What? They didn't have a dad at home to wrestle with them and play around with them, or it didn't even say anything about dads. They weren't allowed to play with each other. And that's how they got here. This is something worth paying attention to. These are compelling benefits that we're discovering. So because of Stuart Brown's book, we decided, okay, we're not just talking about laughter yoga. We're talking about how to generate laughter from nothing, not for no reason, but for multiple reasons. And we created our own formula for laughter. Smile, breathe, play. And when you're going to do it with smiling, we're going to start with smile ups, because everybody will smile. If I smile at you, you're going to smile back, right? You're going to.
And if I tell you, oh, everybody, we're going to laugh on purpose, the people like Rachael in the room are going to roll their eyes and go
like me.
and go even deeper inside. And Gio, at the very beginning, you talked about, as adults, we feel disciplined, and like we need discipline in our life. We want to suggest that we adopt a laughter discipline. A laughter habit is how we call it in our book. But the discipline of adding laughter into those difficult moments can truly change your life. And you were talking about teaching this to your children. During COVID, I did some laughter sessions for staff development for companies on Zoom. And because parents were stressed about their kids being home and school and everything else, I always said, if your kids are home and you want them to be in the room, knowing that that was an issue for people, that's fine. It doesn't matter. So one day, a woman was there with her 9-year-old son, and we all saw him, and I included him. And she emailed me 2 days later, and she said, I just need to tell you that we had a little argument at dinner, and my son left the table in a huff. And a couple minutes later, I went to find him. And where would he be? He was standing in front of the mirror doing smile ups. Well, I practically cried, because
that is so beautiful.
We need to teach our kids and ourselves this tool, so that when you are feeling a stressful moment at work as an adult, you turn around in your chair, because God forbid somebody judges you, and you do smile ups. And what happens in your body? Smiling, just this, everybody that's listening, just do this with your mouth while I talk. What you're doing is sending endorphins to your brain that say to cortisol, the stress hormone, I don't need you, take a break. And you invite dopamine and serotonin and oxytocin to come in. Hey guys, it's our time, we're going to party. And you start to feel better just from this. Now, as soon as you do that, you can say to your adult self that has deadlines and things that you need to attend to, okay, self, now you're ready. Turn your chair back around. You've got deadlines to attend to. And when you find yourself in those stressful moments, go ask a colleague, hey, will you do 10 smile ups with me? And they're going to think you're nuts. And you're saying,
yes,
wait, but we're going to shift our mindset right now. We're going to shift our energy so that we can refocus on our work. Play in the workplace is so important. So.
Oh, I love this. I really love this. So one of the things that I'm getting for myself, as you guys are creating this huge possibility for my life and for all of us who are listening, is how counterintuitive it is the subject of the impact that laughter is. I'm thinking most of my life I've taken pride of being serious and significant, right? Like I somehow have pride of that. And I even have my mug. It's a grumpy, my my grumpy mug. And I didn't even plan this. I even have the mug, right? And what I'm seeing is that what I find to be counterintuitive is that I think that if I start creating my laughter discipline and my structure for smile ups, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna stop being what is the word I'm looking for? Responsible for the things that are important to me, right? Like it seems to my brain like if I start laughing at everything, then I won't be responsible for the children, the business, the this and this and the other. And what I'm hearing you're saying is quite the opposite. It
Yes.
resets my brain. It
Yes.
allows me to do better. It allows me to be creative. It allows me to actually be more productive.
Yes.
Rather, that significance doesn't bring productivity. Maybe laughter brings productivity. It's what I'm hearing from what you guys are saying.
It's absolutely true.
Imagine that you're super stressed and you can feel it bubbling up like a volcano. You're angry and you're stressed. What we need then is something that lets that steam valve, lets the steam out so you can go back to balance. Now, Annette Goodhart, who wrote Laughter Therapy, she was a therapist, and she said, catharsis comes in all kinds of packages. It can come from anger and shouting and hitting and tears and laughter. Laughter's easier. That's why she likes to use it. She could just say to somebody, "Oh, you've got cancer." Terrible thing to do, like not politically correct. But you're so stunned by the response. And when she continues to laugh and you are laughing, now you've got something going on where the body is just going back to balance. So yes, being serious is important. But what's more important is that you give your poor body a break and take advantage of this God-given thing that we have here, the ability to laugh at life. We all know that having a sense of humor and being able to, lighten up a bit when something's really significant it's going to make everything easier, not just for you, but for your team. If you can bring a lighthearted attitude to something, and if you like, I don't have a sense of humor, and I certainly my sense of humor doesn't match my husband's sense of humor at all. A lot of humor is deprecating, and in early times, laughter was a very negative thing. They really there are over 100 theories of laughter, and one of the early ones is the superiority theory. We'll laugh as we look down on people, and we'll laugh at people, and it's mockery, and it's why the church said, no laughter, not a good thing.
And we didn't have teeth either, so it wasn't
We
like
didn't have teeth.
Right.
We didn't have teeth either. They didn't look nice either.
Well, in fact, it's funny you mentioned that because what is his name? Vassie. What was his first name?
William, I think.
Anyway, this guy, he writes this whole book about how horrible laughter is. There's actually a negative laughter genre in literature. And part of his book include caricatures of the facial distortions of people when they're laughing.
Right.
Interesting.
I think a lot of this difficulty comes from we all have such a strong association between laughter and humor, jokes. And so just for fun, what percentage of laughter do you think comes from having a sense of humor or thinking something is funny?
What percent, let me get the question again. What percentage of
laughter, like all the laughter that you might laugh, how much of it comes from thinking something's funny or having a sense of humor?
I've never asked myself that question before.
Well, when you think of your own laughter, do you mostly laugh when you hear something funny, or do you laugh for other things?
I feel that I mostly laugh. Well, there is laughter from sarcasm, laughter from irony. There's laughter from just being with the people I love. Yeah. So I'm looking in that direction.
Yeah. So only 20% of laughter comes from having a sense of humor or thinking something's funny. But the rest of the laughter comes when you describe sarcasm and irony. Those are often related to humor, right? It's sarcastic
Okay.
humor, right? But as Rachel was saying, self-deprecating humor is part of jokes. That's why a lot of people go to a comedy show and they're like, I don't like this, it's offensive. I don't want to laugh at myself, because laughing at myself, one of the big distinctions that laughter yoga makes is we are not laughing at anyone. We are laughing with you. We are not being negative and judging you. We're all here to support each other in laughter together. And when you think of it in that mindset, Dr. Kataria created laughter yoga to be an anti-bullying. He wants peace in the world. You can't laugh and be angry at the same time. And so we laugh because we're afraid, because we feel awkward or nervous. As you said, we laugh when we want to connect with another person. We can walk up to a group of people who are talking and there's laughter, and we listen, and there's nothing funny. People laugh to connect. Babies laugh at a young age because they recognize when they laugh, you give them a lot of positive reinforcement. So we just need to stand back and say to ourselves, when life is hard, whether I'm facing a deadline, I'm getting a divorce, I'm losing someone important to me, or any of the things in between that, instead of saying, oh, laughter, I can't laugh right now because there's nothing funny. Nothing has to be funny. You need the laughter so that you can survive those things, so that you can get through them. And the laughter just resets your brain, helps you to feel better, and gives you an opportunity to live your best life. And so when we separate from the humor, then we have this perfect opportunity to say, okay, more, I want more tools, more like
it definitely balances life, intuitively speaking, right?
Right.
For me,
yes,
it definitely does. So we're at 9:30. Normally we begin to finish the conversation at this point, but I wanted to ask you if we could do some practice or some exercise that you do,
yes,
so that I can use it for myself, share it with my community, and then we can wind down the conversation.
Sure. So, Rachel, I think you should lead us in laughter breaths, because this is something that I always start my sessions with smile ups, but then the giggles always come. Like if I ask you to smile and make eye contact with someone, you're going to start giggling because you already aren't sure what's going on. But once we get to, okay, well, but if I'm asking you to laugh on purpose, how do you get to that? And Rachel created this wonderful exercise called laughter breaths. And it's how we demonstrate the fact that laughter is your body's way to naturally increase the oxygen flow. And it helps us get to laughing on purpose. So Rachel, why don't you do that?
So since laughter is an exhale, what we're going to do is everybody take a big deep breath. And as you exhale, just say ha 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 ha.
That's definitely contagious.
And you can do it again. Ha 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 ha. Now you can practice saying do he and see what happens to your mouth. You really want to like squeeze out as much as you can, because the more air you let out, the more oxygen rich air is coming in. Okay, we're going to do it one more time.
I
love it. You guys are awesome.
Okay, now let's say you're pretty solemn. Something not good has just happened and you're feeling pretty grim. This happened to me. I was leading a group of to a small group that I have on Tuesdays, and it included a couple of one recent widow and one woman who had lost her husband, more than a year ago. And I asked her, how are you feeling today? Well, I'm feeling pretty grim. I'm like, what can I do to make a difference for her? I want to do something to help her. How do I get her over this hump? And I had this flash. Oh, Grin, Grim. Okay, let's turn grim into grin. So imagine the word grim in front of you, get your magic eraser, and let's erase the M and replace it with an N. And let's laugh while we do this process. So let's just imagine that you have the grim word in front of you and you're feeling grim. Get your magic eraser ready. Put an N there. Get your masterpiece.
I love it.
Now, a lot of laughter games we create on the fly, and many we've created before, so we use them over and over. Imagination is really helpful, and that ties back into the play, and it ties back into the childlike playfulness. And so, is there a particular issue that you're dealing with right now, Gio?
A particular issue I'm dealing with right now. Yeah, I suppose.
Do you want to share it so we can create a laughter game for you?
Well, not specifically I want to share it, but I can give context for it all.
Okay.
And I think that the one issue I'm dealing with is I feel like I've reached a certain limit in my self-expression as a leader. And I'm in my life looking for ways to move on and let go.
Okay, so do you have a thought, Sarah?
Yeah, sure. So one of the games that we do is put on your laughter glasses. But so I'm going to suggest that if you feel like you've reached the limit, let's first break through the glass ceiling. And what I would invite you to do is take a deep breath. And as we exhale, throw your hands in the air and let big laughter come out. So we're going to first break the ceiling on that. And we'll do it in a minute, but I want to make sure we understand what to do. And then we're going to we have in front of us lots of different laughter glasses, and you're going to try them on like you're at a store. And when you look through these, you're seeing that passable path out there, and you're going to bring that kind of laughter. And then you're going to put those down and try on another pair and look that way, and you see, oh my gosh, those possibilities, and they bring you absolute joy and motivation to do it. And then take one more pair and look that way and see. And then as they all converge, just bring them all together and accept all the possibilities with a great big laughter hug that brings you into yourself and your full potential. Okay? So let's all do it.
It's ready? A big exercise.
All right.
How many glasses I'm going to hold on? How many glasses?
Three pairs of glasses.
Three.
And when you do it, imagine each pair looks different. The frames are different. It might be little tiny monocles. It doesn't matter. But you just imagine them. And if you have in your mind some things that you've been wanting to play with and wanting to try, but you've been afraid, then go down that path, face it, and see what happens. And imagine yourself successful. Imagine that no matter what you try, you cannot fail. Because the truth is, I really believe this with all my heart, and I'm the one who said this. At least I don't know anyone else who said it. 90% of stress comes from being in a hurry. Because if you think about it, you've reached this plateau. As soon as you know which direction you want to go, you're ready. You're going to go. It's just the uncertainty. It's the fear. It's the needing to do it in a hurry. Because even people who are stressed about finances, most of those people that I know, they're willing to work hard. It's just that the bills are due before they've worked that hard, right? So if we can remind ourselves to slow down and look at the possibilities, not judge ourselves and not be so afraid, and invite laughter and play because it helps you be creative. Okay, so here, let's go. Ready? We're going to breathe in, throw your hands up in the air, which, by the way, opens your lungs, allowing for more oxygen and more laughter. All right, so here we go.
It's okay to feel silly. Get your glasses.
Put on your glasses. Look down that path. See yourself laughing with excitement.
Oh my.
Okay, put those down. Try on a different pair. Oh my gosh, these are ginormous glasses. Oh my gosh.
Hug it all.
And the third one more time. Well, these are tiny little glasses. You can barely see through them like pinholes. And now gather all the glasses and all the possibilities. Big, giant laughter hug.
Can't believe you guys.
Ooh, and now exhale. Take a big deep breath and relax. And shake everything up. There you go.
I can really tell the difference. Even if it wasn't comfortable for me, I can really see my whole state shifting. I can see it. I can see what Rachael is pointing to when she said, there was something powerful there.
Yes.
Sarah, Rachael, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing this amazing and incredible journey with us. I put in the chat the link, and we're going to put it on YouTube as well for people to get your book and get the cards and everything you guys have built. Go ahead, Maria.
Okay, thank you. So thank you so much for this session. And from my heart to your heart, Rachael, and from my heart to your heart, Sarah, y'all have access to healing. You have medicine. Your book is medicine. It gives access to people busting a groove in another direction. And it adds value to people's lives. So I want to say thank you, and the universe thanks you for that. And really, when y'all speak, people's lives are forever altered. So thank you for this session, and I'm deeply grateful.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you, Rachael. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah and Rachael, what are the last things that you guys want to say for today?
Oh, I guess the last thing I want to say is remember that you always have a giggle in your pocket, even if you have no pockets. And that giggle will become many, many giggles and big belly laughs. The more you share it, the more it comes back to you. And I would also note for any of your listeners, if you're thinking, I want to delve deeper into this, not only do we want to have them purchase a book, but if they just visit the website, there's lots of facts. And I'm also a laughter yoga leader trainer, and the training is going to be on Zoom soon also. It's a live training for 14 to 16 hours. It is not a marathon, but there's no recording. It's a very experiential training, and if people are interested in that, they can reach out to me.
And when they go to discover the power of laughter, that's where the training is?
Yes, it's under the shop, and you can also visit my other website, but all the information that you want is right there.
Discoverthepoweroflaughter.com. Awesome.
Exactly.
And if you go to that website under Meet the Authors or About the Authors, whatever it is, there's it tells you under Laugh with Us how to laugh with Sarah on Mondays on her free call every Monday, and how to laugh with me on Tuesdays on Zoom. Although this Tuesday it's not happening, but almost every Tuesday. So yeah, I would just say try it. I resisted it for a really long time. It's so worth it. I have become a far more positive, happier person inside of myself. And it's contagious,
And when you impact yourself, that's how you impact others, to bring it back to your first question. So, and both of those opportunities on Mondays and Tuesdays are free things. So there's no cost involved. Come anytime, and you're always welcome.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Rachael. Thank you, all of you, for being here. Thank you for bringing laughter, joy, silliness, goofiness, and Maria says it is medicine, and this kind of medicine needs friends.
Yes.
And
We call them buddies in our book, laughter buddies and smile buddies. And
we need laughter buddies.
Everybody needs one.
Yes.
Everybody needs one. So thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. Go ahead, Sarah.
I just think we should end by giggling.
Yes, we have to end by giggling. Thank you all for being here. And remember the 8 tenets. The first one is laugh. Laugh out loud. Stretch your cheeks to help you with the wrinkles, with your confidence. Makes you sexy. Laugh. Love. Love everybody. Love those you have an opinion about. Love those that think different from you. Love. Create love. Sleep every day. Sleep at least 7 hours. It's critical. Eat more plant-based. Get closer to the trees. Hug the trees. Eat the trees. Eat healthy. Remember to move every day. 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes right after lunch. Go for your walks every single day. It helps you with everything you want. Remember to give. Give your laughter away. Give your jealousy away. Give your love away. Give what you have created. Give it to the world. You're not taking anything. There's a finite game to all of it. Just give. And remember, check yourself before you wreck yourself. We'll see you guys Monday. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
One love, guys. One love, one love.
One love.